Welcome back to Newslink. Breaking news at this hour is Judge Piet Koen in the Pietermaritzburg High Court has handed down his verdict in the leave to appeal application of former President Jacob Zuma. His leave to appeal was in connection with the dismissal of his special plea. In that special plea, he wanted State Prosecutor Billy Downer removed from his arms deal trial. Let's return now to the Pietermaritzburg High Court, where Siphamandla Goge is standing by. That appeal was dismissed. Judge Piet Koen saying he believes it lacks reasonable prospect for success, that there were no compelling reasons to permit an appeal, and he says the trial should go ahead now on the 11th of April 2022. Sipa, I'm sure you have many people there with different reactions to that judgment.
And one of those people is Mthunzi Mhaka, who speaks on behalf of the NPA. There's also Mzwanele Manyi, who speaks on behalf of the Jacob Zuma Foundation. Let's get straight to Advocate Mthunzi Mhaka. How do you feel? You must be happy. The judge says on the 11th of April. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, really, we were expecting this judgment to rule in our favor, given the fact that the first thing that the judge says is that the Supreme Court of Appeal has ventilated these issues. It has pronounced on the issues that they have rehashed during their arguments and during the presentation of their case here. So we are vindicated because that has been our argument all along. Secondly, this has been a premature decision that they took to say, let's adopt a piecemeal approach when it comes to appeals, because this appeal should have been brought at the conclusion of the trial, and therefore it's not in the interest of justice that we deal with an appeal on a special plea at this stage. Now we are happy that at least the trial will resume on the 11th of April. We will bring our witnesses. You would remember that Minister Patricia de Lille was here as a witness. Unfortunately, she could not take the stand because of these proceedings that they instituted in respect of Mr. Downer. So we are happy and relieved that at last we will have the trial resuming. We are hoping that they will not go to the Supreme Court of Appeal and appeal further on this.
The likelihood is that they will do that. They have said they will exercise their rights. Are you worried that if they petition the Supreme Court of Appeal and the Court, we might not get underway on the 11th of April?
Clearly, if they go to the Supreme Court of Appeal and go to the Constitutional Court on a matter that is so clearly pronounced upon by this honorable judge, it will have an effect on the trial resuming on the 11th of April, which is undesirable. We really want this trial to proceed.
Let me get your friend, Mr. Mzwanele Manyi. Come closer to your friend, the Advocate Mhaka. I like both of you when are together. How do you feel? You must be devastated, but where to from here?
No, not devastated. We are used to Zuma laws. What we've seen here today is a travesty of justice, where an established law practice, something called interlocutory application, is now dismissed as some kind of a piecemeal arrangement. Where have you heard such a thing? How can it be that an interlocutory application is dismissed like that? And Koen says, no, we'll see that at the end of it all. I mean, all we are here for is to ensure that there's a fair trial. The state is not interested in a fair trial. This court here has even dismissed further evidence so that when a decision is taken, that all the facts are on the table. It refuses to process even those additional information so that the judgment is based on all the facts available at the time. He refuses.
Judge Piet Koen says you will have time to appeal whatever you want to appeal, but for now it's not in the interest of justice and this trial to do so at this stage.
His Excellency President Zuma did not invent the term interlocutory application. That is a legal term. That is an application that happens before the main application to make sure that all the preliminary issues are taken out of the table. Now, when President Zuma exercises that, it's now stigmatized and ghettoized as some kind of a piecemeal. We think that this is exactly the reason why a different court will see differently this matter. We're having another Zondo issue here.
We're going to the Supreme Court of Appeal.
We're having another Zondo issue here where a judge wants to insist on ruling on his own ruling. This is what we have. We have judges here today that lack the necessary humility to say, I hold my position, but maybe somebody else can think differently. Yes, indeed, as the foundation will definitely advise His Excellency President Zuma to petition the appeals court. So I can tell you now, I can't see how the 11th of April is going to happen, and the state is delaying this case. All the state has to do is to remove Downer, then the case happens. But the state insists on having Downer, so therefore the state is setting the stage for conflict. So the state is responsible for this continued conflict.
But Judge Piet Koen says there are no prospects of success. If you go to the Supreme Court of Appeal and the Constitutional Court, are you not worried that those higher courts may find what Judge Piet Koen found, no prospects of success?
That's that's a person pronouncing on his own ruling, you know. So that on its own is subjective position. We think that judges in this country must learn to be humble. Judges in this country must learn to know that their pronouncement cannot be the be-all and end-all, and that other judges, given the same information, can pronounce differently, and therefore justice must be given its fair chance to proceed.
I know you say you will advise former President Jacob Zuma to go to the Supreme Court of Appeal. From here now it means more consultations with his legal team to look at the available options. Legal recourse allows you to petition the Supreme Court of Appeal, but don't you think let's just get on with it once and for all?
This is what we're here for. This is what we wanted to do. You remove Downer today, we can guarantee the 11th of April. If you don't remove Downer, it means the state is busy putting on obstacles. Why is it that the state is making a very bad pronouncement on all other prosecutors in the NPA? The state is basically saying there's no other competent prosecutor that can deal with this case.
But Judge Piet Koen has said those allegations are frivolous, they are absurd.
It's him making a ruling on his own judgment. How can he say that? I mean, if you look, for instance, on the issue of the affidavits, that he dismisses the way he's dismissed it, both sides of the equation, even the NPA itself was also surprised to see this filing of affidavits the way Koen had ruled. So if both teams are seeing this thing as an anomaly, only him does not see it as an anomaly. It's another zonal situation where a person does not want to be humble enough to allow another court to make a different pronouncement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mzwanele Manye speaks on behalf of the Jacob Zuma Foundation. Let's take a walk, Jokomane, around this court passage and precinct. We want to show our viewers a little bit of some few supporters of former President Jacob Zuma who had come here to support. I see Carl Niehaus on the other side. Carl Niehaus is there together with Vugile Matabela. That is the spokesperson of former President Jacob Zuma. Carl Niehaus is here. Let me tell you that there are also other people this side who are sitting on the other side here. Those are supporters of former President Jacob Zuma and some family members of the former president. They include a gentleman there called Super Zuma, who is wearing a blue mask there. There is also Tobani Zuma, who is the former Deputy Mayor of Msunduzi Municipality. Super Zuma is the former Provincial Secretary of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. These are members of the Zuma family and supporters who had come to support the former president, who is not physically present in court because Judge Piet Koen had said all parties can send representatives just to note the judgment.
All right, Sipa, thank you. We will again connect with you in just a few minutes as we get more reaction from that breaking news that former President Jacob Zuma's leave to appeal the dismissal of his special plea has been dismissed in the Pietermaritzburg High Court.